Begin Phnx network transmission in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the side chicks. I'm Yummy.
And I'm Dark Phnx.
We are women of a certain age. We are more than caretakers, though. We still have desires, dreams, aspirations.
And we know that we still fucking matter. And when we get together, sometimes ish gets crazy.
Oh, yeah. We talk about sex, all different kinds.
We talk about pop culture.
Oh, and guess what? We talk about getting older.
You got to know it. But we're fearless.
And we fearlessly push the envelope.
Yes. So follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and even Pinterest at Yummy Fearless.
Listen to us on any listening platform. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, iHeart, Good Pods, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Find us on yummyfearless.com for bonus content.
Hey, welcome. We'd like to welcome you to the Yummy and Fearless podcast. And we are going to take good care of you. So before we get started, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? It doesn't have to be detailed, just some high level things that we need to know.
For sure. So I am what they call a Gen Zer. I am currently a college student, early 20s, and I would say I'm pretty well versed with the times. I try to keep up with the times as they change. You know, nowadays, this modern era. That's a little high level introduction to Mr. B.
Okay. Thank you. So, Yummy, go ahead and introduce our what the topic is to make sure Mr. B doesn't want to run out of here.
Okay, yes. So the topic is a topic that has been relevant for eternity, which is body count. How
body count.
many people have you been with? So, especially if you're a woman, you've been asked this question. Whether it's been by a man that's interested in you, a man that you are in a relationship with, just people for whatever reason, you know, it's significant. So we're what, Dark Phnx? We're Generation X.
It depends. Because I identify with Gen Z, but you know. I'm going to represent what is it? What are we? Gen X? Yeah, I'm going to represent Gen
we're
X
Gen
today
X.
Because we have authentic Gen Z here, Gen Z person. But let's go ahead and get into it. I have a question for you. So my first question for you, Mr. B, is what does body count mean to you? I mean, that's our interpretation from Gen X to aunties. But we want to hear what Gen Z, a young man such as yourself, thinks that is. What is that?
What the definition of body count is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
To me, body count, that is how many sexual partners a person has. That does not count as oral sex necessarily. It is strict, regular sex. How many sexual partners a person has.
Okay.
So why not oral sex? Yeah. So why not oral sex though?
It's one of the loopholes. That many people can find. Yes. Wow. So I feel like there's a certain level of intimacy that comes from penetrative sex, shall we say, that cannot be found with fast, quick, dirty oral sex. What oral sex is, I think that's where the major difference comes from.
Okay. But like, I would think like I would want to know. I want that count.
I don't know.
I want that count where your mouth been like that. That's relevant to me. Like I wouldn't be like that's free. like that ain't like free. I would also include that's just generation X, I think would be my opinion. Like
Mm.
where your mouth been, to me it's like maybe even more intimate than where your genitalia has
See,
explored.
you see, I feel like then you got to get into a gray area and think about what about your hands? Do hands count? Because if you leave the realm of your private area, then everything has to count. So I feel like you should just keep it to sex is sex with the regular genitalia.
So let me just get this
Mm-hmm.
straight. So just so that I'm clear, I know we not to beat a dead horse, but so you're saying that if you met a young lady and the subject of body count came up and she had only had one sexual partner, but she sucked 100 dicks, you'd be okay with that?
No, 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 no. I didn't say all that. No, I didn't say all that. I said that's a loophole for a person like me. If I was talking to somebody and she only one sexual partner and 100 dicks were sucked, that would still be a problem. But it would,
Okay.
but that would be a bigger issue than body count at that point. That's
Okay.
a
Gotcha.
moral
Gotcha.
problem. That's a moral
Okay.
issue.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Just making
So
sure.
there is a parameter where you be like, you done too many dicks.
Yeah, yeah.
So Gen Z does have some standards, but I'm curious, how do you so talk about is there a difference? To what extent does body count matter to Gen Z or specifically to a Gen Z male such as
Mm.
yourself?
I think it's very important. You know, it's a different era. I think women and men alike are a lot more freer with their
Mm-hmm.
bodies. So you're never gonna find these young women out here who are holier than thou and have no bodies on their belt, you know. But obviously it would be ideal to be in that low range because you don't want something that is that everybody can get, if that makes sense. You want something that is sought after.
Hmm.
But see, I'm surprised that it still even matters at all.
Why is that?
Because y'all seem so
Super
free.
free.
And
Super free.
you're free with
Fluid
the
too.
information
Oh
itself.
yeah, true,
You know,
true.
like y'all are literally tweet. You know what I'm saying? Like
If the
what
D was
y'all,
bad, I mean,
yeah.
or good, you know.
Y'all document and provide public records of your activities. So like I just assume there was no, critical value put on it because people so freely share it that it must not matter.
Oh yeah. Now maybe it's the southern boy in me, but we gotta have a little bit of decorum out here. Now I'm not saying that we all have to be church children, you know,
Yeah.
and worry about it to that extent. But we can't just be dropping it low and spreading the wide for everybody who's asking, you
Okay.
know.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. So, does it matter if a girl or a young lady that you are interested in has a higher body count than you? Or does it matter to her, you think, if you have a high body count?
Does it matter? Yes. Is it a deal breaker? No. I would say it's something to take note of, but I wouldn't necessarily chalk a young lady just because she has more than me. Now it also depends on how much more. If we're talking 2 to 3 times more, it might be raps, you know.
Wow. So, okay, within that same train of thinking, so
Mhm,
like say that before she knew you and
mhm.
before you knew her, she had dealings with like somebody that became a close friend to you.
Ooh. Mm,
Now we're getting into something else, but I want to hear this.
yeah. How would I go about that?
Yes, what's the impact of that body?
See, I guess, and we're starting to get to the point where not all bodies are created equal. You know,
Oh,
Come
uh-oh.
not
on,
all
come
bodies are created
on.
equal. But here's the thing: I don't know if I would say if this woman could be my potential wife.
Hmm.
How could I block my blessing just
See,
because my buddy had a ride around the rodeo a couple years back?
You don't mean that.
see,
You do not mean
I
that.
do
I
mean that. I do mean that.
see. I agree with that. I
You
agree.
agree
I
with
feel this. Yes, I do. I feel people
Oh,
getting
no.
caught up on ridiculousness.
Mhm.
It depends on how recent, I think.
How recent? That's important. That's important. It couldn't have been within a year or so, but I can't block my blessings.
Oh,
Right. I mean, what if he could have like a truly phenomenal life with this person? And especially if she didn't know him, he didn't know her.
Mm.
Nobody knew each other.
You know what, Yummy? As I'm thinking, I might have to take this back. I might have to take that
Oh
back
man. Oh
because
man.
you talking
Come on.
about having a wonderful life. I may not be able to have a wonderful life with this young lady, but I would definitely
You could have a
give myself the opportunity to see what she's working with.
Oh my.
okay,
Okay. So now we get into
you are
it.
putting the limitation on where this could go
Yeah.
because your boy deflowered her.
Yes, because my boy defiled her. Absolutely.
I don't understand men. I
Yeah.
don't, but like somebody deflowered everybody you ever gonna
At some point.
deflower at some point. That's
Mm.
the thing.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Not. See, especially then you gotta think about if I were to marry this woman, is my homeboy gonna be invited to the wedding? And if he's not, am I holding on to something that was in the past? You know, if I can't get over that, then it's not real. You know.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. You're Gen Z, so I mean, it has to be very recent. More so than us, Gen Xers.
Right,
We're so
right,
far removed from it, but
right.
you people are so close to it.
That's true.
I don't even know if you can
Yeah.
intelligently speak on that. Well, I don't know. Maybe so. But I have a
Maybe.
question. This is
Good
something
point.
Yummy asked this, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna steal this question, Yummy, because I'm burning. I need to know. So maybe I should let you ask it.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So threesomes.
Mm.
Do they count as one? Or
Listen,
1.5 or
this might sound controversial. This might be controversial. A threesome. If I find out a woman who a potential suitor of mine has been in a threesome with two young men, that might as well count for infinity bodies because I'm never gonna touch her. That might as well be a million. That might as well be a million.
That's like stamping the paperwork unapproved. The loan is not unapproved.
Yeah, no, a big red stamp. It's a no-go.
Really?
Scarlet letter. Scarlet.
Yeah.
Scarlet, hell no. Hey, but that seems a little weird to me, Mr. B, because you guys are so free, and that's not coincide with my thinking about who you are.
Yeah.
Not you personally, but Gen Z people.
Yeah, we gotta draw the line somewhere. We gotta have some level of decorum here. Like, what do we do?
I'm gonna tell you, Mr. B, I really thought most of y'all in y'all generation like had threesomes, like just customary, like oh,
how common is it? Is it
right?
common?
Your girl, she cool. What's up?
Oh, two girls and a guy.
Yeah, I really thought
that's different.
Like almost all of them work like that. Like kind of like your roommate. Yeah, she kind of fly. I'm feeling special tonight. What's up?
Yeah,
wait a minute.
You're gonna have the Neanderthal young men who run trains on women. I personally never have been into that, but yeah, and also it's different when it's two girls and one guy. That's
How's it different? Wait a minute. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? Am I sensing a double standard here?
Here comes the deep water. Yes. Yes, indeed.
So you just said that if a young lady that you were interested in was in a threesome, that might as well count for infinity. Yet you're saying that, or a threesome, I'm assuming with two guys.
Yes.
But yet you're saying that it's okay for a man to have more than one woman at a time.
Yes.
That doesn't count.
And I'll tell you why. In the case of a threesome, because especially on the college campuses, you have a lot of young ladies who are out here trying to experiment. They're trying to find themselves, as it were. And through doing that, they might dabble in a little girl kissing. They might want to kiss up on the little girl every once in a while. And I feel like, how could I, as a man, take that away from a young lady? I can't take that experience away from her. I can't take that away from her.
Wow, they really start young, don't they?
So they do. So this is like a cheer.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Wait.
How about that?
Wow, you should be claiming on your taxes. I see. I see. What? Like, but I also think for y'all generation, like, you know, y'all the men, y'all be experimenting a lot too.
Ooh.
Like y'all really, they do though. Like from what I can tell, like men be like
with other dudes.
With other dudes, like they like it's way more acceptable to where they be like, I don't know, maybe I should get my prostate tickled.
Is this true, Mr. B? Is this true?
What's up? So like, I don't know. If you a girl, I'd probably be like, let me facilitate this for y'all, because I know.
Wow.
You know,
you have it in your mind anyway.
Maybe at UCLA. Maybe at UCLA. Maybe out west. Not over here.
Not in the north.
Yeah, not over here.
On the East Coast.
They just keep it. They're just keeping it. I think that in some places, that is correct, Mr. B. It's still more in the college, but statistically speaking, I forget exactly what they are, but statistically speaking, they're there.
Sure.
They just can't, you know, unfortunately.
Be out.
They can't. Yeah, and I do believe that. Unfortunately, they can't just be like, come on, guys, you know, let's do a daisy chain. You know, they just can't. For whatever reason, do that yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, hopefully those gentlemen get to live their truth eventually. I can't speak on that one.
yeah, and I hope they do. But like, and I hope that any young women listening, that they too take on a charitable perspective and help facilitate.
Right,
hey,
you know.
Don't let Yummy set you up for failure, young woman. Don't let Yummy set you up for failure.
I be like, kiss him.
Yummy, wait. Yeah, okay. Yummy talking about reciprocating the anal.
I don't want to say that in front of Mr. B.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. But I'll have threatened to blow a nigga asshole open, but I would never say that in front of you, Mr. B.
No, don't say that in front of Mr. B.
Don't say that in front of Mr. B.
He's not old enough for this. Come on now.
I would
behave.
Don't do that, Dark Phnx.
Come on, Yummy, behave. Okay.
Jesus. Yes. Okay.
All right.
All right. Get back to the list.
Okay, so the list. Okay, so question. Next question. And this was also one that Yummy gave me, and I'm just so curious. Curious minds, inquiring minds want to know. So, does spring break sex count? Go.
You know, a wise man once said that what happens in Florida stays in Florida, except for herpes. Herpes will follow you everywhere. You can't leave that there. You can't leave that in Panama City Beach. So
it counts.
That counts. That's the big one.
That counts.
So
okay.
So you can't just throw out all of the rules of the road once your toes touch the sand, because obviously you're gonna take something home with you. But I think it's okay to have a little bit of fun as long as you still keep some sense about you, you know?
Okay. But like, what if like you don't climax? Like
Does it count?
That's the one. Yeah, like for me, for real, and I'm like, if you ain't calm, don't count that shit.
Yummy.
Don't count that. Like, I'm telling you, like, for real. Like,
I do want to know this, especially for women, because women don't normally, get the same, enjoyment out of it.
That's half a body. That's 0.5.
There you have it. There you have it, ladies.
That's a
there
fair
you have it.
That's half a body.
Yeah, that's a fair. I'm with that. I do have, but I
So it is
definitely
said,
doing
so
a
it's
whole
done.
one. Yeah, yeah. All right,
Y'all heard it right here. Yummy and Fearless podcast. You heard it. These are the rules. It only counts as
0.5.
half.
For
0.5,
sure.
niggas. 0.5. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
All
So
right.
so yeah. So shit. That take my count down to what?
Nope. What you say?
Don't ask, don't tell. All
Don't
right.
ask, don't tell. Right.
Right.
Especially when the youngins is around. Come
Right.
on,
When
earmuffs.
the baby
Earmuffs.
Yeah, yeah. All right, but I appreciate that new guidance.
For sure.
That should be expanding some of my access now. Okay. So this is my question because Dark Phoenix mentioned double standards.
Mm-hmm.
And that certainly is what I'm hearing. A double standard
Big
between women and men.
Mm.
All right. So two things. One, as a woman, do the bodies count the same if a woman is having sex with other women? Like, what if she went through like
Great question.
A gay period, or like she just, want to like muff it out or whatever. Want to see what's up, does that count? Can she come on back over like, what's up, niggas? I was just seeing what was going on. But I would feel like that ain't on my count.
Right.
Well,
right?
That's assuming that you want to. Anyways, I want to hear what Mr. B says. Go ahead.
For me, I feel like that's like trying to carry over stats from an athlete who used to play baseball and now is coming over to play football. And you want to talk about home runs. Like that don't got nothing to do with me. That don't got nothing to do with me. As long as I'm not walking down the street and I don't see some of your old jump offs, a couple of your young inmates walking across the street, then I'm fine.
As long as none of the studs show up.
Right.
So does a strap-on count? Speaking of, because I heard young inmate like walks around with her strap-on on, like some stud.
Yeah. Young inmate, she carries that strap-on with pride.
Right.
If it's young inmate, it does count. But everybody else, I don't know. I feel like there's a gray area there.
Right. I'd be like, don't no strap-on count. Get out of here.
Wait, you know what though? But now that you asked that, I'm curious about does body count the same if it's a woman with another woman? Like does a woman feel like if a woman's been with other women, does that count to her? And if she's been with men, say she's a homosexual woman and she's been with men and then she goes to play for the other team, do those men count?
Yeah, I couldn't speak to that. I know that for some instances there are some homosexual women who are disgusted by the idea of somebody being with a man and then trying to get with them. So I feel like I don't know. I can't speak to that one.
I would think they consider that penis toxic.
That's a body count. Think. Maybe they counted double. When you say
they like square that dick. That's how you count that. That's how that goes. So come back over here with no more of that shit. Yeah, that's how that goes.
Yummy. Yummy. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, and also, I feel like in regards to the strap-on thing, I think the color of it makes a big difference.
What?
Because if it's a purple or pink one, y'all just playing around. But if it's black or the color of somebody's skin, then okay, that counts. That counts for something.
And we're gonna have to retally this up.
Yeah. No. I mean, subtracting and adding, it's just like
yeah.
We okay.
Mathing.
Right, like all right, subtract the pink. Okay. But that big old black dick, that's okay.
Times two.
Right, times two. What about anal sex?
Oh, great question.
That's a tricky one. That's a
That
tricky one.
is tricky.
Because there's some school religious people who be like, hey, I'm still saving myself.
Right.
I've taken it up the butt
Right.
10 times, but
Yeah.
I'm still good. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like anal doesn't count as bodies until you've popped your cherry. After that, then you're just being freaky. You're saving yourself. You're saving yourself until and then once you have regular sex, then those anal bodies start to add up. Those start to count.
Now we got more math. Let me get my calculator out. Shit, I'm losing count.
Wow.
All right, now
That sounds
that is
fair though, for some
that's
reason.
interesting though.
Mhm.
I mean, and just for you, just for my sake, I need you to confirm whether it makes a difference to most Generation Z men. So you mean to tell me that a girl could have taken it up the butt 100 times and still be considered a virgin to you? No body count. No bodies. Not 100. Okay, not 100 times. Let's say 3 times.
I feel like it's the same as with the oral sex. It becomes a thing that it's not sex, but we have a moral question now. Like, what's going on, young lady? Why do you want to do this? It's not a sex thing anymore. It's a moral thing. But also, just to keep it even, for men, taking it up the butt, that counts for at least 10. You know? So it's not always gonna be even. You know what I'm saying?
That's a deal breaker for me. I'm just saying.
So like if a girl puts on a strap and busts a nigga ass open, then that counts as 10.
Yeah, at least.
No.
At least. Well, then when you factor in the color, of course.
Subtract 3.
Like I prefer a big black one. Like in Dark Phoenix, I was thinking like, so when would I stop? I'd be like, I stop when he stopped bleeding.
Oh,
that's when I would stop. You gonna stop playing with me.
The opinions expressed on the show do not necessarily reflect.
But actually, this ain't the topic. That's more like what I choose as a discipline tool. I mean, that really so like it's not a sexual gratification. It's a way to, correct behavior.
Keep things in line.
Right. That's that get right.
But I
that's,
do have a question
get
though.
Act right.
Back to your moral question. So tell me how you reconcile this moral compass when you're okay with women having sex before marriage, obviously,
Sure.
but then you have a kind of a standard for how, like a threshold for how many is too many, and such. How do you reconcile that? Testing. Uh-oh.
Did we lose?
Can you hear me?
Now
now we can.
Okay. The last thing I heard was the sex before marriage, but you have a moral. How do you reconcile?
Yeah, you talked about a moral compass for a few times now, and I want to know, how do you reconcile that? Some people would say having sex before marriage is, you have to question somebody's morality. So how do you reconcile?
God knows my heart. What more can I say? God knows my heart.
Fix it, Jesus. Right on. Right on.
Let he who was without sin cast the first stone. Can I get an amen?
Preach on, preacher.
Amen.
Amen.
But do you realize like how difficult y'all make it for women? Cause y'all want everything. Y'all want like this, perfect, morally high ground, slutty hoe with amazing sexual skills. But then you judge her because you like, how are you gonna learn these sexual skills that y'all want? And y'all watch a lot of porno, so you want chicks choking on your penises and gagging and everything else.
And looking beautiful at the same time.
And looking beautiful. And, you want her to be able to do all these things intuitively. but you don't want her to have ever done them.
Exactly.
You want her to get in that bedroom and be a nasty little stanky bitch.
Damn right.
But
Damn right.
right. But you want her in public in a cardigan and educated and speaking nicely.
Mhm.
And it's like, that's a lot. It is a lot. But if she's ever dated one guy and he like, oh, I hit that, then it's like, can't nobody fuck with that bitch no more.
Exactly.
It is a lot.
I agree.
Along with the fact, and a lot of dudes do this. I'm gonna tell you, one way I knew for whatever little period of time I was that chick was when dudes that were considered to be like sort of that dude would lie on me, and I was like, you know what? I might be all right, because this motherfucker trying to get clout
off your name,
off my name. I ain't never
Right.
touched this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but that's all that matters. Nobody's ever cares to verify it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. But I'm just like, how?
you talked
Can
about two
anybody live
things
up to
though.
all of that?
There are two things here that I need answers to both of those though. So one is the idea that you have these expectations for a woman to be a freak in the sheets in the bed, but you don't want her to have had so many sexual experiences.
Right.
That's the one question. The other one is, what did you say, what did you say, Yummy, about that last point you said?
About also people take the word of men.
Yeah, that part.
Instantly.
So what if somebody lies on you about the body count?
I feel like I'll tackle that one first. I feel like lying on your dick is one of the most egregious thing a man could do.
Hallelujah.
Whether it's lying about bodies that you wish that you had but you didn't actually get, or bodies that you did get that you're ashamed of. Be proud of what you got, if you fuck with a big girl and you feel shame in it, claim that. Put that on your belt. That's you,
Yep.
But also, you can't be around this locker room talking about things that you didn't do, conquests that you didn't do. But also, I think, to answer the first question that Yummy posed, I think it all boils down with when you want the lady in the streets and the freak in the sheets. It all boils down to that we are feminists at the end of the day. We want to yes. I hold
absolute. Okay, go ahead.
I hold women in such high regard that I want the best. I want them to exist in the best version of themselves, right?
Ain't that about a bitch? Okay, go ahead.
So why would I want you out here in the streets making like having people look at you like less than, when that's not who you are? I know your character, baby. That's not who you are. Now, when at the time when the lights is off and you back home, then you could be the real you, But you got to keep that separated. That's just it's feminism at the end of the day.
Oh my word!
Wow.
No, he didn't say feminism.
Wow. Yeah.
So you're a feminist then?
Absolutely.
Oh my word!
Now I must admit, I didn't see feminist coming in to that explanation. That I did not see coming.
Exactly.
That I didn't see coming. But like, what if it's biology also, especially when you're younger, your hormones are going, and you're, especially at that earlier stage of life, part of it is exploration.
Sure.
You're figuring out what works for you.
100%.
What works for you. Guys are doing it, girls are doing it. It's just that the penalty, especially women, is so huge.
Talk about it.
And for the most part, we do it to each other. We do it to each other. Yes, thank you. Message.
You said a word. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't allow each other to, have any stage of acceptable exploration, which I think is one reason why the pendulum in some ways has swung so far in the other direction. Where you have some women, like one example is like even female rap, where some people complain now that chicks only talk about sitting or squatting over a nigga face, in demeaning. I think that's one example of how the pendulum swung all the way really far in the other direction, because all before that, that's all men talked about was nutting on our faces,
True.
controlling us sexually. And so at
100%.
some
Yep.
point, women were like, "Fuck these niggas." They're like using our sexuality to demean us. These girls just turned around like, you know what? I'm gonna take that power back. Yeah, nigga, I fucked you. I squatted on your face. You gonna pay me for it. I got back up. I went over. I don't love you. It really is, because it was a lose-lose for us. So you might as well own it, get what you can get out of it, and go on. That's what I believe it to be for
But
that.
what cost? At what cost though?
Do you think that? I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
What was that? I was gonna say, do you think that men and women even tackle the issue of sex the same? Do we look at sex the same? I can't say that we do. So I feel like when men were having those songs that talked about sex and talked about fucking this bitch and that, this, that, and the third, I feel like they probably really felt those things. But then you look at a Meg Thee Stallion, she said before, I may rap like this in my song, but that's not how I really feel. I'm not really a hoe like this. So do you feel like there could be a role that these people are trying to be playing by trying to be so super, like you said, having the pendulum swing, being so super sexualized?
I think that all of it's true. Because, like,
All
for
of it. Yep.
example, even so let's say Snoop Dogg, he rapped about those things, but he was in a marriage that entire time. All of those things are true. Like to me, rappers are like WWE actors. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, they're more representative of a time. They're just sort of like the zeitgeist of the moment, but they're performers. But
Right.
they represent an authenticity of that moment, and they promote an authenticity of that moment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I often say, like, all these rap girls are playing, like, in literal are playing games. They not who they pretend to be. They don't know nothing
Right.
about what they talking about, because
But
that's a whole different thing.
on the other hand, the climate that necessitates that Meg Thee Stallion, whether she had had those experiences or not, that she has to say, "Oh, this isn't really me. I'm just playing a role. I'm playing a character, kind of like a like a porno, like you said, or like WWE, like you said." So I think even if she had the experiences, we live in a society that necessitates that she lie about that and say that she hasn't.
Yeah, and that's like, it's more like that's your best option. But Mr. B, no, I don't. In real life, men and women do not look at sex. Like, to
Exactly.
me, when women make these choices and decide to go that way, it's because it's really the only available best option. But nobody, not to me, your typical woman, nobody want that.
I have something to say about that. So
Go ahead.
we talked about last season. I think we talked about this old woman actually, who was like an old hoe, and even she says she slept with a lot of younger men, and even she, after all this time, says that she still wouldn't mind having somebody to come home to. So my point is, yes, I do believe women and men look at sex differently. I think that women play the role. There's a saying that goes, women play at the game of sex all in the sake of for the sake of love. Men play at the game of love all for the sake of sex. And I think that really, and I don't care how liberal women. I think that Yummy is right about the pendulum swinging and kind of owning it, flipping it, kind of like the N word. You know, it's been
Yeah.
used against Black people so much, and then Black people kind of took hold of it and they own it. But I do think that women, by and large, I don't care what they say. If you have sex with a woman, we go together real bad.
See, now we're getting somewhere. Now we getting somewhere. Because now y'all are starting to understand why a man can have 30 bodies, and that's not the same as a woman's 30 bodies. They're two different things. Because we look at sex differently, you see a woman with 30 bodies, you have to be like, "Oh, darling, who hurt you? What's going on? You got 30 bodies at 20 years old. Let's have a conversation." That's where the hesitancy comes from a young man's perspective, because it's not the same. Like the saying goes, a key that can open every door is a really good key, but a lock that opens for every key is a shitty lock. It's just that's just the truth of the matter.
That's some shit.
But you still for the streets though. But you still for the streets.
The man?
Yes, you still for the streets. And it's the same thing. If
young women like that though.
No, ain't nobody liking that shit. If half my floor done like bang you ran through, Playboy.
So
you
telling me these young women don't want a nigga who nobody's touched. They want the person who is sought after. Y'all know that's true.
I don't know about that one.
Y'all want the man who is sought. You don't want the little nerd. That's why. Hey, I know y'all watch Family Matters. She wasn't checking for Urkel. That's why you need to get in that machine. You want the person that everybody wants.
Well, everybody wants, but not everybody's had. So here's the thing that like I don't even think people say, like even like generation like Z or whatever. But here's the truth. Like girls, like we go through, I'd be like, let me get that dick report. Like, what's up? Like, and that's the truth. Like, even like chicks, you may not even know them. Like, oh, I see you with Playboy. What's up with that dick? What that dick do? Like, for real. Like, what that mouth about?
That's a new thing.
Shit, please.
That's a new thing.
Please.
I don't think it was always like that.
Please. Oh, the hell if it wasn't. The hell if it wasn't. I'd go shit. I'd be like, oh, you got him? I heard that nigga dick is on 10. What's up? What's up? Bullshit if it wasn't.
So what do you say about that?
Right up on it, but like dudes don't even realize this, but believe it, right up I can still name off dudes like the dick is on 10.
Trash.
People in the trash, and that's the funny part. Like dudes that be running their mouth, you be thinking, if that motherfucker knew what his dick report was saying, he closed his motherfucking mouth. Okay? He closed his mouth. Like that's what I would tell my son. Unless you know dick in there yanking, close your mouth. For real. And you don't believe nothing no girl saying to you in that moment, because even no matter what the time is, people polite in that moment. You don't be trying to break the whole nigga's spirit. But like you'll leave out that motherfucker like it's all right. But then niggas petty. They want to get out like wop, wop, wop. And you sit here like, all right, should I destroy his, spirit up into his 40s and 50s, or let this shit ride?
Ouch. What do you say about that, Mr. B?
Yeah.
From my perspective, it looks like men are also doing another service by having sex with all the women on the campus to create this network. You creating a network.
Have mercy.
It's like a social media network where women are able to convene,
So now he's doing public service.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The dick report media, yeah.
He doing charity. He doing public service. Y'all are some real stand-up guys.
Absolutely.
The best. I love it though.
Real wholesome.
Real wholesome.
Real wholesome, right?
He cares. I appreciate that. Okay. Well, Dark Phnx, did you have anything additional? I mean, I don't know if we can top being a wholesome feminist.
I don't know if we can
caring,
top that.
charitable.
Yes.
That's what Gen Z is about. That's
Yeah.
what Gen Z is about. Now we know.
We'll stand on it. 10 toes.
10 toes. Gen Z, they care about your vagina and like
Absolutely.
that count.
They care.
Again, to all you young ladies, don't let Yummy set you up for failure. Don't be out here facilitating and find yourself lonely. Don't do that.
Don't fall for it.
You've been warned.
Generation X, I'm telling y'all, if there's a community of women walking around giving report out, just FYI.
If you're Gen X.
If you're Gen X,
Baby
it's
boomers, I can't speak on it, but
it's some people that vibrate on this level where I do.
Mm.
It's women like me that go knocking on doors. What that dick do? Just FYI.
so you know.
Now
So
you know,
you know.
right?
All
Now
right,
you know.
so
Yes.
we're gonna wrap this up, but we do thank you so much
Thank y'all.
for coming. This has been amazing. Everybody, give an applause.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having me.
This
You're
was
so
awesome. Yeah, we have one more question though.
Okay.
Yummy.
No, you go ahead.
We ask all of our guests the same question, so you know. Okay.
Okay.
So there's no right or wrong answer. We just
Yeah.
want to get your take from a Gen Z perspective.
Yeah.
Why do men cheat?
Ooh, this is a good way to close it off. Y'all ain't gonna like me after this one. I'm glad y'all said I did good before y'all asked the question. I think my personal opinion is because men at heart have the heart of conquerors, right? We don't necessarily look at sex with the full emotional extent that a woman does, right? So you could go out and have I could have the love of my life back at home. And if she's not in front of me in the moment while I'm out at the club and it's 2 o'clock or 3 a.m., the witching hour, and I see a shawty who might not even be as cute as she is, I might take a bite.
Oh my God. You're right. I don't like you anymore. No, go ahead.
It's just a matter of being a conqueror. I feel like it's a biological flaw at the end of the day.
What?
It's and it's in our nature.
Now you're blaming biology. Do you believe that, Yummy?
I think that kind of makes some sense.
Oh my word.
I think that makes some I do.
I appreciate it, Yummy.
I don't buy that.
I do. We are different, but I do.
I will give you at least you're honest. I will give you that.
But black men don't cheat. So I'm talking about white men.
Yeah. It's black men, they would never. They would never.
Black men don't cheat. Not the wholesome black man.
Right. So there you have it, everybody.
Yes.
For sure.
So again, thank you, Mr. B. You've been incredible and honest. And
yes.
Thank y'all for having me again.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, review, subscribe, and share. It helps other listeners find us. And don't forget to follow us at Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and even Pinterest, where you'll find additional content from today's show and also our highly curated He Can Get It list. As always, you can listen to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the Side Chicks on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. And if no one else has told you today, we love you and thank you so much for listening.
You've been listening to a podcast of the Phnx Network. Discover more audible gems like this at podfixnetwork.com. Make sure to catch up-to-the-minute network shenanigans by following @Podfix on Twitter, official_Podfix on Instagram, @Podfix Network on Facebook. And make sure to subscribe to Phnx Presents wherever you choose to find podcasts. The Phnx Network, artist owned and loved.